Hey there. Welcome to CyberPulse by Quantum Shield, the podcast where we make cybersecurity less intimidating and a lot more exciting. Every episode, we're diving into the latest digital drama, from sneaky hackers to the coolest defense strategies, all while sharing tips you can actually use. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's navigate this crazy digital world together.
Ever feel like you need a decoder ring just to understand all the buzzwords flying around cloud security these days?
Yeah,
Zero trust this, zero trust that. It can get kind of overwhelming, right?
right, totally.
But what if I told you that this zero trust thing is kind of a big deal and not just another tech fad?
It is, it really is.
We're going deep on zero trust architecture today and how it's changing the game for cloud security.
Okay.
So no need to be a cybersecurity whiz for this conversation. Think of it more like we're at a cafe grabbing some coffee.
I like it.
And breaking down why zero trust matters to you, even if you think the cloud is just where your phone stores photos.
Yeah, perfect.
So from all your digging into this, it seems like zero trust is more than just a fancy name, right?
It really is. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about security, especially in the cloud.
Okay, so big picture. Why does the cloud need a whole new security philosophy anyway? Didn't we have that figured out already?
Well, you see, the problem is the way we used to do security, it's like imagine a castle, right? Big, strong walls, one big gate.
Classic fortress.
Exactly. That's how we used to protect our systems. We put all our defenses around the perimeter.
Keep the bad guys out, right?
Right. But the cloud, it's not really like that anymore. It's more like, I don't know, a bustling city.
Okay, I can see that.
People and data coming and going all the time from everywhere. That old castle model just doesn't cut it.
So those castle walls aren't so useful when the city limits keep expanding.
Totally. And that's where zero trust comes in.
Okay, so then let's unpack that. What does it actually mean to have zero trust, especially in a world where we rely on so much digital stuff every single day?
So zero trust. It's kind of like it sounds, maybe a little bit. It means we're not just automatically trusting anything or anyone, even if they're already inside our network.
So a little bit of healthy skepticism about everything, even if it looks familiar.
Exactly. We're verifying everything all the time. It's like, think of it like double checking your locks, even when you're home.
Better safe than sorry. Right. So how do we actually do that? How do we put this zero trust idea into practice, especially with all this data flying around in the cloud?
Right. So there are a few key principles to zero trust.
Okay, let's break it down. Go for it.
First up, you've got continuous authentication, like two-factor authentication.
Yeah, with the code from your phone and all that.
Exactly, but amp it up. It's happening all the time in the background, making sure it's really you accessing stuff.
Okay, so it's not just that one login at the beginning of the day and then you're good to go. It's constantly making sure it's you.
You got it. And then there's least privilege access.
Okay, love the name. Tell me more.
So this one's about making sure you only have access to what you absolutely need to do your job.
Like the bare minimum, not browsing through every file just because you technically could.
Precisely. No more keys to the kingdom just because you're an employee.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
So are there any other major zero trust principles we need to know about?
Yeah, one more big one. Micro-segmentation.
Ooh, that sounds serious.
Kind of, yeah. Basically, we're taking the network and splitting it up into these tiny little secure zones.
So like instead of one giant castle, it's more like a bunch of smaller, well-guarded rooms.
Perfect analogy. That way, even if someone gets into one, they can't just waltz into every other part of the system.
Okay, so it's like damage control built in.
Exactly.
This is making a lot of sense. But can you give me a real-world example? How does this play out, say, if a company is using zero trust to protect its data?
Let's say you've got a company, they're storing sensitive customer info in the cloud, right? With zero trust, even if someone, like, I don't know, steals an employee's login info, they wouldn't be able to get their hands on all the data.
Because they'd hit all those layers of security you were talking about.
Exactly. They'd need the right credentials at each step, plus least privilege would mean they could only see the stuff they were specifically authorized to.
So it's like a digital maze with a security guard at every corner.
Pretty much. Makes it a lot harder for the bad guys to do any real damage.
This is why it matters, even if you're not a tech person. Every time you shop online, bank online, do anything online, really, you're trusting companies with your data. Zero trust is about making sure they're taking that responsibility seriously.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground here on Zero Trust.
We have.
It's about shifting our mindset from defense at the perimeter to this constant verification at every level.
Yeah, it's a whole different way of thinking about security.
And as our world moves more and more into the cloud, it's not just a nice to have, it's really becoming essential.
Couldn't agree more. And it makes you wonder, right?
About.
What other parts of our lives could benefit from a little bit of zero trust? I mean, think about it.
Something to ponder. Well, on that note, thanks for this awesome deep dive. Super informative.
Happy to be here, yeah.
And for everyone listening, stay tuned. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of tech and security.
Looking forward to it.
Until then.
See ya.
Thanks for hanging out with us on CyberPulse. Remember, cybersecurity doesn't have to be scary. It's all about staying sharp and a little bit savvy. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't let those cyber gremlins get you down. Catch you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay smart, and keep crushing it online.